often hear the phrase, the harder you work, the luckier you get. But when we look at the life of Pam Grier, we realize she took that sentiment a little too seriously. Most people saw a glamorous star on a movie poster, but they didn't see the local secretary from Colorado, who had to fight every single day just to be acknowledged as a human being. No one knew that this girl, who spent her days typing memos and filing papers, would one day become the undisputed face of a cinematic revolution. Let's dig into the life of a girl born with a simple, grounded dream: becoming a therapeutic nurse. She wanted to heal people. She wanted a quiet life of service. Instead, she ended up becoming a worldwide actress whose image was plastered on billboards from Los Angeles to London. However, acting was never her original lifeline. It was a pivot, a fierce response to a world that tried to put her in a box. There are many secrets coded in her mind, and her captivating style wasn't just product of Hollywood magic. It was built on a foundation of raw grit. Today, we dig through the dark, dreadful aspects of her life in the most shocking way possible. We are going to meet the real Pam Grier. Make sure to watch until the end, because the truth about her survival and her high-profile romances will change everything you thought you knew about the golden era. If you're new here, join our wonderful community by subscribing to the Hollywood Updates Now channel. The queen of the 1970s, talking about 70s action cinema and leaving Pam Grier's name behind is simply not fair. This kind-hearted, free-spirited daughter of the Air Force didn't just walk into Hollywood. She burst onto the scene like a lightning bolt. During the 1970s, she made a name for herself with a style and a sultry savoir-faire that no one else could replicate. Once she stepped into the industry, she never had a long break again. She rose to fame as Hollywood's first true female action star, headlining massive hits like Coffee, Friday Foster, and Sheba Baby. These weren't just niche films. They topped the box office graphs and challenged the very idea of what a hero looked like. That is how this assertive noblewoman became the undisputed queen of blaxploitation. For decades, the media celebrated her beauty and raw sex appeal, but they often missed the power behind it. Before Pam, action heroes were almost exclusively men. Women were the ones waiting to be saved. Pam Grier flipped that script. She carried the gun, she drove the car, and she delivered the justice. But as we're about to see, this luxurious life was not written in her fate by birth. The struggle she went through to get there is a story of its own. The secretary and the switchboard. Let's reveal the untold struggle of the foxy brown actress. Before the lights and the cameras, Pam Grier was just a young woman trying to find a path. Her first ambition was to be a veterinarian. She loved animals, a love that continues today on her ranch, and she wanted a life away from the chaos. When she moved to Los Angeles, she wasn't looking for fame. She was looking for a paycheck. She started as a receptionist at American International Pictures, working the switchboard. It was a humble role, but it placed her right in the heart of the machine. It was there that she was discovered. Director Jack Hill saw something in her that she hadn't yet seen in herself. Interestingly, Pam never attended a single acting class. She was a natural. She raised money for her college tuition by participating in beauty contests, placing as a runner-up in Miss Colorado. She worked day and night, fueled by a relentless consistency. By the time Coffee was released in 1973, she had carved out a space in the film industry that was uniquely hers. Her hard work paid off with a multi-picture contract that made her a household name. Roots of resilience, the North Carolina years. If you think Grier was born with a star tag on her toe, you're mistaken. She faced massive hurdles throughout her childhood, many of them due to the racial climate of the time. Born in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, her father was a technical sergeant in the Air Force, and her mother was a nurse. Because of her father's career, the family moved frequently, which meant Pam had to learn to adapt to new environments almost every year. She was brought up Catholic, but a series of traumatic incidents at a very young age, including a horrific assault when she was only 6, forced her to find a different kind of spiritual strength. She describes herself as a mixture of African American, Hispanic, Chinese, Filipino, and Cheyenne cultures. One of the most defining moments of her life was when her family relocated to Swindon in the United Kingdom. For the first time, she lived in a place where she didn't face racism. She recalled that the British never hated us. They didn't even care who was black or white. But returning to the American South was a shock. Seeing the no entry signs and the buses that wouldn't stop for her made her realize she had to build her own identity. She decided then, why follow the rules? Why not make the world follow you? The Tarantino resurrection. Stardom is rarely a straight line. By the 1980s, the blaxploitation genre had effectively ended, and the roles for black women in action were drying up. But Pam Grier wasn't done. She transitioned into character roles, appearing in Fort Apache the Bronx opposite Paul Newman and the eerie Something Wicked This Way Comes. She even made a mark on TV with Miami Vice and Crime Story. But the real comeback, the moment that introduced her to a new generation, happened in the late 90s. After being considered for a role in Pulp Fiction, Quentin Tarantino realized he needed to build something bigger for her. He wrote Jackie Brown specifically with her in mind. In a poetic twist of fate, the theme song for that movie was by Bobby Womack, the same artist for whom Pam had worked as a backup singer when she was just starting out in UCLA. Jackie Brown earned her Golden Globe and NAACP Image Award nominations, and she was the first black woman on the cover of Ms. Magazine. The world finally recognized what her fans had known for decades. Pam Grier was a force of nature, the private battle, survival, and heartache. The most painful side of Pam's story isn't about Hollywood, it's about her health and her heart. In 1988, she was diagnosed with stage 4 cervical cancer and told she had only 18 months to live. This was a dreadful beginning to a new chapter of her life. She fought the disease with the same determination she used to fight villains on screen, surviving through vigorous treatment and an unbreakable will to live. She also faced massive heartache in her personal life. Her relationship with the legendary Richard Pryor was deep but troubled. She was his rock, helping him with his drug issues, and even helping him learn to read. But the toll on her own well-being was immense. She later detailed how Pryor's lifestyle nearly destroyed her. Despite high-profile romances with stars like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who once told her she had to convert to Islam or he would marry someone else, and Wilt Chamberlain, Pam remains bold and independent. At 76, she is unmarried and lives life on her own terms on her ranch. She has never been scared to tell her truth, answering even the most uncensored questions about her life with a style and boldness that defines her legacy. The undisputed icon. Pam Grier is a revolutionary. She floored the path for every female action star who followed. She showed us that it's not necessary to be a man to be daring. If you have passion, courage, and determination, nothing can stop you from reaching your destiny. She remains a symbol of power and strength for women everywhere. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the archives. Pleasure-seeking was not unknown to Pam Grier, but she wasn't the only one with a secret life. Did Ava Gardner satisfy herself with women too? You won't believe the truth behind the world's most beautiful animal. Watch this video next to find out. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and join the Hollywood Updates now. We'll see you in the next chapter of history.